And we're back with yet another video of Antlered Pursuit TV. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about different shed hunting tips and really breaking apart my last trip shed hunting. And we're going to see exactly what I was doing and why I was doing it. More importantly, we are going to be breaking apart highly pressured pieces of property. And I guess how I went about shed hunting and finding potentially the biggest leftover shed that's in the area. Or even, you know, I guess throughout the whole time period that I'm there, what's going through my brain, you know, maybe why am I making the decisions I'm making. So stay tuned and enjoy the show, and hopefully you guys learn something from this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we are also doing another shed hunting video. We have a couple of them coming out, you know, pretty frequently just because we're in such a good area for it. I'm actually starting on the very top of a very big mountain and zigzagging my way all the way down to the bottom. If you go straight, it's about 3.5 miles, but if we zigzag, we're probably going to be ended up doing close to 12 miles by the end of the day, and we're already 1.5 miles in. But I want to show you guys two things that I found, or actually one thing that I found, but I found two of them so far. We got another elk kill. My thoughts are it just either A, died of natural causes, or B, it was attacked by a bear, lion, mountain lion, or wolves. I'm not sure which one. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and continue our diagonal strip. Hopefully we can find a bunch of stuff. I mean, I've been searching on this part for about half an hour to an hour, and you know, so far that's the second one I found. So it's looking pretty promising. The elk sign is actually picking up pretty consistently, pretty fast. So stay tuned. If we find anything else, I'll let you guys know. It's hard to tell, but we'll try to make something out of it. Oh, and we got another find. See how this is actually a mule deer, and the back side of it was cut off. So you got the forehead right there, and the nose will be right about there, and the back side is cut off. So apparently this one was a buck, and somebody, see that? Like I was saying, there's some serious potential that, you know, a lot of people have already searched this, but you know, you can't give up. And if you think somebody's traveling on that route, go a different route, you know, do that kind of stuff. Because chances are people don't find everything. You never really know out in the woods. You know, people, you know, there could be 100 people coming out here and searching. You just don't know. Now, when I first got to that piece of property, one of the first things I noticed was that shed. No, not the shed. That skull that was already cut in the back. You know, that kind of sucks. A, you don't know if the person's been in there already picking the stuff that you're after, and B, you don't know how thorough that person was. But you know, there's ways around of still finding sheds in circumstances like that. And something that I didn't really want to do, but you know what, it turned out for the best. And that was looking and walking in areas that you don't expect somebody else to walk in. You know, get away from that typical, you know, hardcore sign area, like where the deer have obviously been walking through. Especially go away from that if you think somebody else has already searched that, because you never know what happens if a random buck or random deer decide to take a different route into that area that you've never checked before. You can also find sheds that you've never expected to be there. And so what I find next is a perfect example of that. Try something new, figure out a different terrain or something, you just never know. So this looks pretty good. If this one was still good, it would be a freaking stud. I mean, it's just, we got the fork, the split, the rest of it's decayed, but look how tall that split is. I can imagine how big this sucker would have been. It's freaking spaced pretty solid, but then they got the fork up top. I'm not sure what it would have been, but this thing could have had potential, man. Shoot. I kept on following that strategy I was doing by just zigzagging, and I zigzagged really far outside of where I was gonna go, and I started seeing a lot of mule deer / whitetail and elk crap. Like, it was literally everywhere. Then I started seeing some bear tracks and fresh bear poop, so my knife is, you know, within handy, and my bear spray is in handy. Just keep my eyes out as I'm talking too for the two. But clearly, I don't think it was, I think it was a shed, but there's also a dead animal right where I found this, so it's really hard for me to tell. So this is probably a couple years old, but anytime there's moisture on stuff, just totally eats it up, you know? I don't know if you guys realize this, but shed hunting can be very, very tough. You know, it's kind of an obvious statement, right? But something that you can do to improve your odds are A, seriously be strict on yourself on zigzagging. It can be one of the most deadly forms of shed hunting out there. And you know, the obvious people take the obvious trails, right? Or like, you know, if you're out there just want to have fun, you can take the obvious trails. But if you want to seriously find the sheds that you don't expect to be there, you might have to backtrack that property or that section of that property that you are already at. You know, that might be from a different angle, or that might be literally taking zigzags. And we found a freaking hammer. Nice 4-point. Look at this thing. Oh, look at that. It's an awesome, awesome buck, dude. Okay, so, but it's so critical when it comes to thoroughly working out an area to do zigzags. You know, go back in a different angle if you have to. I actually was thinking about going completely straight through this area, but I was like, you know what? I can't be doing that because it's like so good in here. There's so much tracks. Just looked over. There's a sun-bleached antler. This is a freaking hammer, dude. Holy. They're just chilling like that, man. I can't believe nobody else picked this up. This is old antler. I mean, it was from this year, but like it's already cracking a little bit. No, this is probably more like 60 or 70 inches. It has to be. This is a freaking stud, dude. Oh, that's a nice buck. That's a nice buck. Good stuff, man. All right, we're gonna go ahead and thoroughly work this thing out, see if we can find the other side of this thing. So the third thing I want to hit on is going to the extreme. You know, extreme could be going to a mountain or part of the mountain that you think it's so hard for someone else to get to. That could be extreme. And B, extreme could be taking the average 4 to 6 miles of the average person of shed hunting all the way up to 8 to 12 miles. Or even I've heard of people who are seriously hardcore elk shed hunters go up to like 15 to 20 miles a day shed hunting. You know, it might be holding horses or it might be on your feet. Going to the extreme could be very, very deadly. You know, going to the tops of the mountains where you think that elk might be up there, it can be very, very deadly, okay? Because what you could find is this. You know, sometimes it seriously pays to walk up monster hills and then just come right back down a different route on trails that are super busy. I was walking down this little trail right here. Let me explain it to you quick here. I like to follow the trails with a lot of crap on them. And as you can see, you know, there's this trail right there. And I just follow that down. I look off to my left, just glance. I walk straight and look down at it. Here's a nice 4-point. Not a monster, but this thing is a little bit of a wackadoo. Look at that. That is too cool, man. It's honestly semi-fresh too, man. It's a nice little shed. Hopefully we find another one down here. I mean, the left-hand side. That'll be awesome. Check it out a little bit. But that's the third shed for today. Third one, man. All right, start with this one here. We got the two nice ones in the back and this little junker in the middle inside the pack. Alright, so if you guys did like this tip with an example type style of the video, let me know down in the description of the video so I can go ahead and make a couple more of them for you guys. You know, I kind of enjoy making this kind of stuff. It takes a little bit more work, but if you guys enjoy it, if you guys take a lot of tips from and get a lot of information like this, let me know. I will most certainly make some more of them with you. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and close this video. And until next time, go out there and shed hunt. You know, if you're in the east, shed hunt in the east. If you're in the northwest, like this episode, go ahead and shed hunt in the northwest of America. You never know what you can find, and you know what? Those treasures last a lifetime. So with that being said, you guys have a great evening, great weekend, week, whatever's coming up. Enjoy, find your dream, and pursue that sucker. So have a great one, friends.